Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue, c'est Diane. Merci d'être là avec moi aujourd'hui. On va visiter un supermarché français ensemble. Hey everyone, I'm so happy you're here. It's Diane, the American blogger behind the Living Abroad lifestyle blog, Oui In France. Today we're going to visit the French supermarket Intermarché. So I'm really excited that you guys are here for this one. I love going grocery shopping, and I know the videos I've been doing, the little clips on my Facebook page of all the aisles have been a major hit. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. So once again, welcome. Someone let me know that you can hear me okay. Hey, Annie, Danielle, Jonna, Les. Excellent. Just let me know that you could hear the sound okay. There's a little wind outside, but we're going to be heading in shortly. Thank you guys for being here again. And the plan for today is we'll take about 45 minutes, and I'm taking requests. We'll be going into the supermarket, checking out all the aisles. I'll be sharing my French grocery shopping tips with you, answering your questions, and just showing you what there is on offer. Awesome. So happy that you can hear me, Bonnie. Thank you guys. You never know with technology. Good morning, Joanne. Just let me know you're out there, guys. We have a small group today. I know the time isn't always ideal. So again, whether you're listening on the replay or you're here live with me, it's Diane from the blog Oui In France. And I'll just say hi real quick. So yeah, if you know me, great to see you again. If you don't know me, very nice to meet you. And we're going to get started, okay? So I'll turn this back around. All right. So first, I just want to say that I have permission from the management here to film today. So not all employees will know. Definitely the shoppers won't know, but I did ask, so there's no question there. Not breaking any rules. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out are the hours of this particular supermarket. We're in a medium-sized town, so not a village, but not in a city like Paris. They open at 8:30 in the morning, and they close at 8 p.m. And then luckily, once in a while, you'll find a nice supermarket that's open Sunday morning. So if you visit a small village, a small town, Sunday is not the norm. Definitely not in the afternoon, but just be aware if you're saving your shopping till Sunday, make sure you go early. And I would say a lot of supermarkets in this area in the Minute close around 7:30. Géant is open till 9, but this store has great hours. I do a lot of my shopping at Intermarché. And Intermarché, for anyone wondering, they're a regular grocery store. They're a chain. This is a new one, so that's why we're here. It's nice and big and clean. They're a nice chain. Middle of the road. They're not a discount store like Lidl, and they're not like Whole Foods in the US with all these luxury products. But before we head in, let me just show you real quick the cart system, and these are pretty hardcore with nice handles. But like, I guess this used to be more popular in the US, still exists, very popular in France. You pop a €1 coin in here, and then it releases the cart from the rest, and then you get your €1 back when you return the cart. So you guys are probably familiar with that concept. But that's how you unlock this. There's also a token you can get. It's usually plastic or metal, and that's called a jeton. And it's the same size and weight as a €1 coin. So you unlock your cart, and we'll head in. Hey, Susan, Cindy. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I saw a few of you left a few comments, and I didn't see them because I was just walking through the parking lot. So if you had any questions that I didn't see, we'll get to them after. All right, so I'm just going to pause in the entryway here and let you take it all in before we move on. Hey, Tammy, thanks for being here. So to the right when you walk in, there's the bakery section and the pastry section of the grocery store. And a quick note on that, most grocery stores do sell bread. Most of the bread in French grocery stores is baked on the premises, but the dough is made in an industrial facility. So, they're not mixing the flour and the water and all that here on the premises. So a lot of people, out of convenience, they buy their bread at the grocery store. But a lot of people as well do help the boulangeries stay in business. The prices are regulated, so you're not going to get, a 10-cent baguette at the grocery store. And then we have in front of us here the cashiers with a nice self-checkout. And then all of the aisles. So we're going to get started. Deborah, good morning. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for being here, and I'll just pop to say hello. It's Diane. If we've never met, nice to meet you. I'm the blogger, the American blogger behind the Living Abroad lifestyle blog, Oui In France. And if you've never been to one of my lives, I'm still learning the ropes, but please comment, interact, give me thumbs up or a heart. Let me know you're out there. It makes it more fun. Okay, so let's get started. Oops, what am I doing? There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Hey, so I don't know who just, you disappeared on my screen. Someone said I never had to pay for a cart at the supermarket, only the airport. So just to clarify, you're not paying for the cart. You're kind of making a deposit of €1 and then you get your money back when you return the cart. Just a way so they don't have the shopping carts all over the parking lot. So when we go out, if you guys stick with me here till the end, I have a little treat. They have a special bread machine where you can put in €1 and get a baguette any time of day or night, even when the store's closed, on the side. So we're going to go get a fresh baguette. I'll show you how that machine works at the end. So if you stick with me, you will see that. All right. And we'll just look at the pastries. Same deal here. Most of them, if they're not made on the premises, the dough the materials are delivered here and then they're baked on the premises. So we have apple tarts. They're very popular. A few macarons, that sort of thing, some choux. There are puff pastries with cream. You see some eclairs. All right, see anything good? Nice, right? Hello, Damien, Dawn. Happy to have you here. We're just starting with the bakery and the pastry section of the supermarket. We'll get to the produce next. And you could buy croissants and pain au chocolat in big packs like this. Okay, and then as I mentioned before, how you could buy a baguette in the supermarket. I do shop in Intermarché a lot, and they have a baguette here in the pink. It's called the Constance. It's very good. They have all different types of baguettes too, the Tradition, different types of bread if you want to make a sandwich, or just pain de campagne. Show you this stuff. Okay, and again, generally speaking, the quality of the bread is better at the boulangerie, but if you're not a specialist, you're not a connoisseur, it's more than okay to buy your bread and your baguette at the supermarket. A lot of people do. And it's convenient. Now, something you'll notice with the produce section in French supermarkets, a lot of times the focus will be on what's in season. So that means in terms of prices, in terms of selection. We have all kinds of apples. And if anyone wants to know prices on stuff, just say, hey, Diane, just pause, show me the price. I'm here for you guys. So just if you're curious, I don't want to spend too much time hovering over stuff, but I'm happy to show you pricing and all of that. So we have apples, pears. This particular supermarket has a wonderful machine here for fresh squeezed orange juice. I think it comes at a premium. I'm a weirdo and I'm allergic to citrus. So I will not be buying this, but you could get 1 liter for $3.95 or a half liter for $2.45. And I have to say, it smells good. Cynthia, yeah, you'll love it. If you're into grocery stores, I'm even into grocery stores in my own country, back in the US. So this is a special treat, even for me, 6 years in. So you'll love it. Yeah, Cindy, stick around. We're going to go to that machine. I checked before. There were 2 baguettes left. And that's just because the store's open, but we're going to grab one of them. Something I just started to see, especially at the bigger supermarkets, is for busy folks or people who just don't want to risk of cutting their finger off like I do. Just pre-sliced, pre-packaged vegetables that are freshly cut in store. I bought one of these the other day. Chinese wok vegetables. Very handy if you get home late from work and you just don't want to cut. And I know that's completely normal. You're probably saying, well, Diane, Publix has a whole selection of that stuff. Yeah, not in France. It's not as common. So I'm pleasantly surprised to see that, the little things. Strawberries are just starting to come out. They're imported right now, and you could tell that they're imported because they're huge. French strawberries are much smaller. There's a man right in front, so I don't want to crowd him. But these look like U.S. strawberries. They're huge, usually from Spain or Morocco this time of year. And the fraise Gariguette, I think is how you say it, Gariguette. I always confuse it. These are French ones. And, well, no, actually, let me just check that. Yeah, these are French ones, and they're a little smaller, but they're still not the in-season strawberries, and they're not the in-season prices just yet. What about produce? Danielle asks, is that a thing? Sorry if there was a question preceding that, I didn't see it. What specifically about the produce? Happy to answer though. Oh, organic produce, yes. Thank you for pointing that out. So something you'll see as we walk around is the word bio. That's B-I-O, like bio in English. Bio means organic. And you'll see a big trend toward organic produce, organic everything. And so we'll keep an eye out for that. Let me know if you see anything bio. And of course, it's more expensive, but a lot of people do opt for the organic option for obvious reasons. Yes, Nicole, you can find seedless grapes. You can. I will say they're not commonplace everywhere. But you can find them. I found some at Lidl, the discount store, the other day. I actually find a lot of good produce at Lidl. Seedless grapes, raspberries, things like that. So you can find them, but I would say they're not always available. People are giving me looks like, what the heck is she doing? Yeah, so Damien just brought something else up. So at this particular store, the Intermarché in my area, you don't weigh your own produce. They do it at the register, so you bag your produce, you bring it to the register, then the cashier at checkout will weigh it. That's what I was used to in the US. But if you find yourself in France at the grocery store and you see little scales, usually like in this region here at the end of the aisles, you'll want to weigh the produce. You just, usually there's a picture. If you want a banana, the word in French, luckily it's easy, it's banane. And there's a picture of a banana. And then it would print out a little sticker according to the weight. And you might think, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal. If you forget, they'll do it at the register. No, they will not. I found out the hard way a few times. They don't always do it at the register. Actually, I don't think they've ever done it at the register. I've held up a line, embarrassingly enough, of about 10 people when I forgot to weigh my apples. So it's not every store that'll have you weigh your own. Like I said, Intermarché, at least here, the cashier will weigh the produce. And at other stores like Super U in my neighborhood, at Super U, they will have each individual weigh their things themselves and bring it already ticketed to the register. So just be aware of that. Look at what other people are doing. If you see people weighing their apples and putting a sticker on it, do the same so you're not caught off guard. So at this particular supermarket, there's cheese. Oh, you're welcome, Terry. Of course. There's a cheese counter, and this is also not something you'll see at every grocery store. So let me back up. Actually, physically, I'll back up, and then I'll also back up in what I'm saying. In France, you can buy cheese at a bunch of places. So you have the grocery store, like where we are now, and within the grocery store, we have a cheese counter, like where we are here. We have prepackaged cheese that you could just take out of a cabinet there. Then we also have commercial cheese, which we're going to go look at over here. And then we also have the fromagerie, they're special cheese shops. So if you're having a specialty party, you want some special cheese for Christmas, you want the expertise of the cheesemonger, the fromager, you're going to pay a little more and you could go to the cheese shop. But it's also a treat just to ask the employee at the supermarket what they recommend. They'll cut you the cheese right here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see some of the prices. So Roquefort, we have some blue cheese here for 20 a kilo. I would say anything over 40 is considered extremely expensive. I got ripped off a bunch of times at specialty food shows. Anything 25 and up is pretty expensive. And I would say a good price for cheese, well, it's relative, but anything under 15 euros a kilo, you could put together a nice cheese platter depending on the size. From the grocery store. And the quality is great. I mean, you're getting legit cheese. It's not second class or anything like that. I mean, feel free to buy your cheese at the grocery store. A lot of people do. And then you always have the specialty fromager. It's like wine. If you want to get a special bottle, go to the wine store. Otherwise, you have other options. Okay. So, do you see any of your favorites here? Trying to zoom in so you could see some prices. So guys, once again, for anyone just joining, if we've never met each other before, I'm Diane. I blog over at Oui In France. That's oui, like yes, in French, O-U-I. Would love if you hit follow on your page, on my page here. Follow or subscribe, whatever you have in front of you. You could check out the blog. This video is not sponsored by anyone, any products I'm showing you. It's just because I find them interesting. No one has paid me, nothing like that. And I don't have an advertising budget or a donation page, so the way to support me is to share this with friends, is to interact with me while we're live, to spread the word, and that's how we'll do it. I also have a shop on my blog that I've linked in the description, selling Francophile, t-shirts, mugs, all types of designs designed by me, so check that out if it's of interest. All right, so back to the show. So here we are. This is, like I said, glass cabinet, glass doors here, and you just stick your hand in and you pick out the cheese you want. Something that, if you don't know too much about cheese, or you only know certain kinds, let me just find one so I could explain my example. But first, sometimes there's little packages put together nice, like this guy, a plateau of 4 cheeses. Takes the guesswork out of it. You could just buy something that's already packaged if you're not too much of a cheese snob. But the other thing I wanted to tell you is, let me see if there's a sticker on any of these. Come on, so I can make a point. Okay, there's not, but usually, this one I know, for example, usually has a sticker, a little gold leaf, and that's from the Concours Agricole in Paris. It's a big cheese concours competition. Well, not just cheese, all types of products, including wine, everything. And you're getting a good product if you have a gold, silver, or bronze leaf. And just before we go, something that's bio. And what's that mean? Anyone? Were you listening? It means it's organic. Good job. Okay. Oh yes, the wine section, Cindy, you wait. That is on the complete other side of the store, but we will get there. And someone just asked, can you taste the cheese? So yes, you could taste the cheese if there is a cheese counter and there's someone behind it. You could ask and they'll let you taste the cheese. Same thing at the marché, at the farmer's market. They will let you taste the cheese. If it's just self-serve, I've never seen samples. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just not super common. And we have the butcher section here, all types of meat, just like you would see in the US. And then directly on the other side, we have the packaged meats, everything from lamb, chicken, things that you know. Something I found interesting, 2 things actually. I find chicken to be super expensive in France, super expensive, and I'll find some chicken on the other side to show you what I mean. And also there's a lot of turkey, not just whole turkeys, which you won't find that often, especially this time of year, but turkey breasts, turkey legs. Basically what I would think of as a cut for chicken, you find it's turkey. And I saw Damien asked, is there a vegan section? He has to go. Great transition from the meat. In certain supermarkets, they do have vegan products. A vegan section, probably more in Paris or bigger cities, but you will see vegan products for sure. Different falafel, things like that, mixed in with the regular products. And here's some smoked salmon that is bio, organic. So Cynthia, processed lunch meats, that's a good question, and I'll talk about that while I'm just showing you the fish. So what there's not in France is a deli counter in the same way that there is in the US. You can get sliced ham, but it's a different kind of ham. Sliced salami, but it's not like boar's head or Oscar Mayer or whatever. It's not like the stuff you would find in the US. So you're not going to get like sliced organic cheese or Land O'Lakes cheese for sandwiches or sliced roast beef. It's more limited, and I will show you they do have processed meats, and they come in really annoying packs because there are like 2 or 4 slices, right? So if you have like a family of 6, you need to buy like 6 packs of meat, and then they don't reseal. So it's kind of like once you open this pack, you either need to put it in a container or you have to use it in one fell swoop. Oh, that's good to hear. Chicken's reasonable in Germany. Let me just show the processed meat, and then I'm going to turn around and show you the prices of the chicken. And for anyone just joining, stick around to the end, or if you have to go, pop back in for the replay, which is going to post to the top of the Oui In France Facebook page after, because we're going to go to the bread machine. So here's pork. I would say pork, chicken, and ham are the most popular meats, but as you can see, there's a number there. 4, 2. It's because there's only 2 slices in the pack. Great, right? Okay, so for chicken, there are a bunch of different kinds. There are store brands. In Intermarché, that little symbol That little right here, that little black and red, that means it's the store brand. There are organic brands, all types of things. But let's look at chicken breast just for pricing sake. So this chicken up here, oh good, you get a 50%, oh, you get a discount if you buy some fajita mix. That is $15.95 a kilo. So if you're in a country where there's kilos, I don't know if that sounds normal to you, but if you convert that to dollars, there's 2.2 pounds in a kilo. You can see, I find that super expensive. That's not even organic chicken. This one's $16.95 a kilo. Then there are drumsticks and that sort of thing. It's way cheaper, you know, $6.50 a kilo. But, and here's what I meant about the turkey, dinde. You know, I would see this cut more commonly in the US as a chicken cut, but here it's turkey. And just so you have a price comparison, this scallop extra fine, turkey scallop, is only, well, it's still not super cheap, $11.73 a kilo. All right, so let's move on for my vegetarian and vegan viewers who do not want to see this. Apologies. Oh, man. So then we have juice, lettuce. Sorry, guys. I got something stuck in my throat, of course, when I don't have a water bottle. All right, so now things are going to start getting interesting. We have, actually the next aisle is going to be the most interesting. Excuse me one moment. The next aisle is going to be the desserts and the little puddings and yogurts. And you'll see these aisles are really nice and wide. I don't know if you could get a sense, but usually the store is very busy, especially Saturday afternoons, and I'll say a quick word about that. Right now there's no one here, but this reminds me of an American supermarket. Lots of nice room. And I'll show you the spreadable cheese while I comment on Saturday afternoons. So some of these might look familiar. Boursin, I don't know if rondelet. I feel like that is available in the US now, but not at these prices. So that's $1.32. There's fig and nuts, shallots, garlic and fine herbs, black pepper. I feel like last time I was in the US, I was at a Wegmans, and I'm like, oh, let's get some boursin. And I went to look, and it was like $6, something like that. So yes, of course, the French products in France, they don't have to be imported, so they are cheaper. Yeah, Cindy, and you know, €15.95 a kilo, that's not even the most expensive chicken. I was trying to find one that was like 22. You see that. And Damien, if you're back here on the replay, I will just point out some of the vegan and vegetarian products. There are a few lines, like I said, but they don't have a special section, at least not at this store. So we have Soja Sun, looks like a soy steak, Indian flavor. We have the Veggie Marché, even Fleury Michon, which is a big... you know what? I think I put the flash on. Hold on, guys. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. We have some nuggets and things like that. So France, they're not opposed to vegetarian food by any means. I would say the meat is strong, butcher culture and all that. But there's no shortage of vegetables and vegetarian options. It's just you have to be a little crafty and seek them out. Okay, so about Saturday afternoons. If you find yourself in France and you're busy during the week and your grocery store closes early, if you hate crowds and you just don't want to deal with the nightmare of what a grocery store is on a Saturday afternoon, avoid it at all costs. It's just they never seem to have enough registers open, and this is everywhere, not just the Maine-et-Loire, not just Brittany. It's just bad. A lot of people who come from the countryside, especially grocery stores and shopping centers, they will spend the afternoon, do some shopping, do some grocery shopping, some other shopping. And it's just, they say in French, blindé. It's just full of people and not very fun. You'll be bumping into people. A shopper's coming, so I got to move on. But this is the commercial cheese, what I mentioned earlier. So store brand, other brands. It's not prepared here. It's not cut here. But it's good. Okay. Cynthia's asking, are there frozen prepared dinner? Yes, there are, and we're going to go to the frozen food section. I had a special request from one of my readers as well. If anyone is interested, particularly in frozen foods, there's a wonderful store called Picard, and I would love to do a whole live in Picard because it's fantastic. They have everything from sauces to vegetables to desserts. It's top of the line, luxurious, wonderful stuff, and not all processed by any means. So let me just get out of the way. There are some people So yes, if you're adventurous and you don't mind crowds, go on a Saturday afternoon, but if you can avoid it, do so at all costs. And just remember, grocery stores aren't 24 hours here. It would be very rare for one to be open past 9, especially in villages. They close much earlier, sometimes even during lunch they're closed. I found that out the hard way in Brittany. I went around 1 p.m. and they were closed till 2. All right. Now we're getting to the fun stuff, guys. Who wants to see the little desserts and the yogurts? Give me a red heart if we should go down this aisle. I'm thinking I'm going to see a bunch of red hearts because this is one of my favorite aisles of the grocery store. The little puddings and the little yogurts. Show me some red hearts and we're going to start looking. So let me give you the full view here. So you could see on the left, we have yogurt and milk-based desserts. And getting some more looks from inquisitive folks. And then on the right, don't want to film the little girl. On the right, this whole aisle, which we'll see, just want to be respectful of the customers, is all desserts. Isn't that nuts? So let's go in. Let's zoom in and take a look. And once again, you're going to see store brand and Intermarché, that pâturge. That is the store brand. Not really a favorite of mine, but I will say in general, store brand products here tend to be pretty good. But when it comes to desserts, the La Laitière here by Nestle, all very good options. Let me know what your favorites are, guys. Oh, Terry, you love Picard. Okay, good. I know at least you'll be on my live if I do one from there. They just had America Week, which was fun. So let me know your favorite desserts. I'll try to zoom in on them. One of my husband, Tom, the French guy I talk about on the blog who writes sometimes, we have the Bonne Maman, and they have a whole selection of products. This in particular is the mousse au chocolat, and they have two kinds. They have a dark chocolate that's really intense. They have just a regular one that's heavy in egg, and then they have a milk chocolate one. That's a little less rich, but still really good. And these won't kill your diet. I know some of you watching are probably like, oh, the calories, oh. But they're small. These aren't giant sugar bombs. I mean, yeah, they're sugar. But most of these little desserts have a max of 250 calories, especially these little Danette puddings. Even less than that, I think 100 and something. So, I mean, you live once, right? Might as well treat yourself. Now, some of my favorites here, made by the brand Rian, that's R-I-A-N-S, and they make some really nice stuff. I love the flavor speculoos, if you know Trader Joe's cookie butter. It's kind of a cinnamony cookie gingerbread type of flavor, and they make a really nice speculoos mousse, tiramisu, all different kinds of fun things here. And, they're really inventive, at least for me, being an American. We have the crumble, the pomme caramelisée, with the caramel there on the apples, vanilla and caramel, salted butter, little cream puffs, creme brulee. We have the Black Forest cake ones, all of that stuff. And this other brand, I don't know how new they are. Maybe I started seeing them a few years ago. They're more widespread now, is Tues, and they do New York cheesecake. They tend to be calorie bombs. These guys are probably well into the 250, 300 range. But they're good and they're expensive, as you can see. $3.38 for two little melted chocolate cakes. But they're very good, okay? So if you find yourself in France, I give that a thumbs up. The Rian Bonne Maman Tues. And I'm going to turn around in just a second and show you the yogurt. Something else I love, not super sugary, not super high in calories, but still filling and great, are the rice puddings or the semoule au lait, which is similar. If you're into rice pudding, they have vanilla ones, regular ones. Basically what I'm saying is anything you like for dessert, you can find here. Because again, look at that aisle. Right? Okay. Cynthia, let me ask your question in 1 second. Bonnie, it's Tues, G-U. I don't know if it's a French brand. That's how I've heard people pronounce it. Tues, like Tues. Not goo in English, like, ew, it's a gooey. But maybe it's a play on words, like goo. I don't know, like, I don't know. But they're good. So here we have yogurt, and we have, I've never seen almond milk yogurt or anything that's more trendy in the U.S., but there are some soy ones. And I'll just show you some of the big names. So Dannon, big player. Yoplait, another big player. Organic yogurt is really popular. Zoya, no. Eggs and dairy are at the far end of the store, so welcome. Thank you for joining, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We're also going to go check out a bread machine. You can drive through and get your baguette when the store is closed. We're going to go get a fresh baguette, so stick around. Thank you for being here again, everyone. So here's some Dannon yogurt, special brand from Brittany from Saint-Malo. So yes, Cynthia, I think it was, just asked, is it appropriate to serve a frozen dessert? So that's going to depend on your company, first of all. If you invited me for dinner, it's no problem. I'm not going to expect you to bake for 6 hours the most beautiful cake I've ever seen. No judgment. I would say if it's maybe your spouse's boss, maybe people you don't know very well, maybe people that seem like they might be snobby about this sort of thing, might be best to either make something or go to the pâtisserie. There are beautiful cakes and pastries and all types of things you could buy already made that are classy and well presented that will reflect very nicely on you as the host. But again, it's going to depend on the company. And just when you say prepared, something from Picard, the frozen food store I mentioned before that I love, everything there is beautiful. It's my go-to. I don't have a bunch of dinner parties, but like when my in-laws come over, anything like that, I'm happy to serve something from Picard. It's good. But I like to bake, so usually I make American treats, or people are like, oh, that American cake, it's so different, it's so good. You know, just a simple cake. So just depends. Okay. My husband loves the Actimel yogurt drinks. I think they're popular in the U.S. Fresh milk. Is fresh milk hard to find? Bonnie, you know, I might have missed it when we walked down an aisle. So when you say fresh, you mean right from the cow, unpasteurized, or you just mean cold? Right from the cow, unpasteurized? No, that's not hard to find. It's always whole milk, though, in my area. There are these milk stands, milk machines in big supermarket parking lots, not here, I'd show you, where you can just bring your little bottle and for €1 you fill up on fresh milk. It goes bad within 2 days though, being that it's unpasteurized, but a local dairy provides that. And if you mean cold milk, no, it's usually not hard. I would show it to you if I saw it. There's usually skim, not a skim milk, that's the exception. Demi-écrémé, which is 2% or whole milk, and that usually is refrigerated, but the most popular is what we're going to get to in about 10 minutes with the eggs, which is going to be shelf stable, pasteurized, room temperature. I love these gavottes. These are excellent. I think I saw them in Whole Foods last time I was in the US, so they are making their way westward. And if you haven't guessed, we are in the cookie and bread aisle, sliced bread, sandwich bread, which the French call pain de mie. Okay. You know, Bonnie, I don't really care for it either, but I've gotten used to it, and there aren't that many other options, so yeah. I feel you, though. Hey, Catherine. French person who now lives in the U.S. by way of Germany, and she blogs over at the Cross Border blog. Great stuff, a lot of great cultural observations. So go visit Catherine's blog. Again, that's the Cross Border blog, right, Catherine? I think it's howtoguide. I want to say org. I don't know if it's .com or .org, but great blog. Go read it. And here's some packaged cookies, very popular for the kids. The goûter, which is going to be at around 4 p.m. When I say kids, it's usually, not a 20-year-old, but younger kids. But hey, everyone likes a nice sugary snack in the afternoon. And generally the French aren't big snackers, but kids will be served something sweet in the afternoon after school gets out. So this stuff is all fair game for that. Leah asks, is there almond milk available there? Yes, there is. There's a store down the street called BioCup. It's a very sorry excuse for a Whole Foods. I'm sorry, BioCup, if you're listening. But they do have soy milk and all that. And when we get down to the milk, I'll show you what a mainstream supermarket does have. But you can find rice, oat milk, organic soy, almond, things like that. I will say that the U.S. has a much better selection of that stuff, including coffee creamers, yogurts. But France is getting into 2018 a little at a time. And sorry I'm talking fast, guys. I just don't want this to go on for 2 hours. And I want to show you as much of the store as I can, okay? So hopefully not going too crazy. Oliver from the Earful Tower, another awesome blogger, podcaster. Go listen to him. He does Facebook Live too. He's excellent and just guest posted for me at the Earful Tower. Is it theearfultower.com? He has a Facebook page, so just click. And yes, there is an international section. Nothing from the US or the UK, I don't think, but I'll show you that in the next aisle as we move on. And right now we are in the jam aisle. Anybody fans of jam? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you're into jam. I don't taste too much of it these days. I told you about that stupid citrus allergy I have, and most of the jams use citrus, lemon juice as a stabilizer. So regardless of the flavor, I don't have it. Sad, I know. So Bonne Maman, again, if it looks familiar, yes, it's the same brand that made all those yummy desserts about 2 minutes ago. And a reader actually just told me about the Bonne Maman Intense, or Intense, if we want to speak in French. I've never really noticed it because I just told you why I don't have jam. But she told me it was really good, and it's €2.33. So if you find yourself in France and you see this Intense, I guess it says it's a confiture moins sucrée. Okay, so it's a jam that has less sugar and I guess more flavor. And it comes in apricot, red berries, blueberry, strawberry, and orange. Look at that, good stuff, right? And there are prepared cakes and stuff like that. I'll just show you real quick. I'm not going to dwell in this aisle too long. Just so you can make French-style cakes. You know, they tend to be a little heavier. There's flan. Cookies are just starting to show up, things like that. Oh, and just real quick. Sorry, trying not to give you whiplash. Baguette, the same brand that makes those cookies I showed you earlier. They have like a spread here that's right by the peanut butter, which I haven't tried, but looks good. Comes in caramel and regular chocolate without palm oil, I might add. See that? Okay, let's move it along. Moving down the aisle. And again, guys, no one's sponsoring this video. Any brands I'm pointing out are just things I find interesting personally. Just want to be very clear on that and transparent as I can. And again, if you're just joining me, once again, I'm Diane from Oui In France. I blog at ouinfrance.com. It's a living abroad lifestyle blog. I've been doing that since 2012 and just started doing Facebook Live last month. And I linked a post in the description when this is over about why I'm doing Facebook Live. And if you're not sure how to turn on notifications, I explain in that post. All right. And please hit like and follow if you haven't done so. All right, this is an excellent aisle, okay? Oh, hey, Catherine's 18-year-old. I don't know your name, but she's talked about you. So welcome. So here we have the chocolate bars, or the tablette chocolat. They're very popular, and you'll see brands that you know, like Lindt. Catherine, I think that's a German or Swiss brand, right? Probably not pronounced Lindt, but let me just zoom in here. The thing that I noticed that's different is that the flavors are different. So while you might recognize the brand, for the European market, they have awesome things like this. And I think today is Macaron Day or something. I saw that, and they have one that's flavored vanilla. Would anyone try this? If so, give me a thumbs up if you try this. I've never tried it. If this is your sort of thing, let me know, and I'll just show you a few more here. If you like this sort of thing. So yeah, this is like a whipped coconut. Really interesting, right? And I haven't lived in the US in over 6 years, so I don't know if you have all of these in like Wegmans, Publix, ShopRite, but all different flavors. Ivoria is the store brand, but let me just come back up here. The Côte d'Or, I believe this is a French brand, at least European, and they have some really, really nice flavors too. You notice a lot in this particular section, they have filling. Ooh, coconut, very good. And then there are regular flavors too without filling. Some have nuts, some don't, some are just regular milk. And then there's baking chocolate as well. Right here by Nestle. All right, so just in the effort of keeping on time, guys, I'm gonna keep moving. Oh man, I think we've been going 38 minutes already. This is gonna be a little longer than I anticipated. Have a lot to say. And Milka, it's a commercial brand. Is this chocolate going to knock your socks off? I don't know about that. Again, depends on if you're a chocolate connoisseur, but it's good, I'll tell you that. A friend of mine asked to see the cereal aisle, so Jana, if you're still on, this is for you. I will say there aren't as many healthy cereals like the brand Kashi. They don't have anything like that. They do have a fitness cereal that I've gotten. I don't know. I'm not a huge cereal person, but you'll see Special K. You won't see regular original Cheerios, and you certainly won't see anything pumpkin flavored. The Cheerios you will see are laden with sugar. A lot of the cereals here, you'll notice, are very sugary, and a very popular one, I believe, with French kids, at least my niece and nephew. There's Cheerios, the miel, that means honey, is Choco-Pic by Nestle, and it's really popular. They also have Cocoa Pops down here, up here, I mean, no, down here, there they are. Crunch, you'll see a lot of them have kind of candy names like Nestle Crunch Max and all that. I don't know, not my thing, but there it is. Yeah, Zoya, so again, you know what, I'll run down there real quick. Here we go, run. They do have oats, and it's Quaker. They have instant, regular. I love oatmeal, especially in the winter, so I buy that often, make that on the stove. But they don't have all the packs like, you know, in the US they have like cinnamon flavored, berry flavored, the little packets that you put in the microwave. That is something they do not have. Okay guys, so I don't want to go on and on here, so you make the choice. So we have the pasta aisle, we have the soup aisle, with spices, we have the tuna aisle, canned goods. We're going to get to the wine aisle. I think that's really important. We have the pet aisle. Okay, guys, tell me if you want to go to the wine aisle. I think that's important to hit. We don't need to go to the tuna and all that. I'm going to make an executive decision. Give me a red heart if you want to see alcohol and wine. I think I want to see the alcohol and wine. So just give me some feedback there if that's cool. If we look at the alcohol and wine. Okay, I see one red heart. That's good enough for me. Excellent. Okay, Joy, cool. You guys are awesome. No, I like you. You like your alcohol. So Rosalind in New Zealand, a reader of mine, wanted to see alcohol. This is for you, Roz. I know it's 2 a.m. Sorry. So in this particular aisle, this is just the sparkling. In this store, this isn't across the board. It's just this store. This is sparkling. So you have champagne, Clément, Italian Prosecco, all that. And just to show you prices, you'll get a little bit of everything. You'll get Prosecco for €6. Champagne's the exception. Champagne is not that cheap. So I'll show you some if I see it. But all types of other sparkling. So this is sparkling, hard liquor, and wine is right around the corner. And I'm going to show you that next. Okay. So hard liquor. I'm going to zoom in on a price for Roz down under, who specifically asked for that. Some French liquor here. Again, it's not imported since we're in France. So the Lillet, maybe you say it Lillet. I've never heard it pronounced, so someone could tell me about that. $11.35 for what looks to be, it's 17% volume for 750 milliliters. Martini liquor, all kinds of things. And then the crazy stuff. The Ricard, the pastis. And I'm going to turn around because the more non-French commercial brands, we have Absolute Vodka, Bombay Sapphire Gin. So just for anyone wondering, Bombay Sapphire, this is a 70 centiliter container. And the price on that gin there for 70 centiliters is $18.50. I have not purchased liquor in the US in a long time, so I don't know if that's good. But Absolute Vodka, $16.04 for what looks to be 700 milliliters. Okay, hey, Ella. Terry chips, you know what, I rushed past that. I'll go back if I can. Chips, I'll show you. Chips in this particular store here, and then the apéro chips and biscuit apéro, all that is going to be on the right. Goes with liquor, right? Jack Daniel's, another one. So Jack Daniel's whiskey, we're talking $26.75 for a liter. Okay, so let's move on to the wine. Hope that's cool with everyone. Again, sorry to be talking fast, but I don't want to keep you all day. Real quick, Easter candy, dun, 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 little bunnies, all kinds of stuff. All right, so, and look at this, guys. Okay, Roz, if you're watching, this is for you. Bombay Sapphire. Look at this, $17.50, that's on sale. Look at this, all this liquor. And the way that the fidelity card works in Intermarché and a lot of stores, so this says you get €1 off, $18.50 to $17.50. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll put a credit on your card to be used, to be redeemed next time. So you might pay the full price now, but next time you might get $1 or $2 off your total grocery order. That's how it works. So we have the Bib, the wine that comes in the box here, table wine, alive and well in France. I've purchased that from wineries before to take on a canal cruise. I've never gotten it from the grocery store, so I cannot speak to how it is. But if you're not a wine snob and you're open to new things, definitely check out wine in the grocery store in France. It's more commercialized wine. You're not going to find a little winery. Their wines aren't going to be at the grocery store. I mean, maybe in the rare case of someone local. But these are commercial wines that are sold all over France in large quantities. We have, since we're in Anjou, the area around Angers, there are so many wines from the area. So Cabernet d'Anjou, is a nice rosé. And contrary to the popular belief, not all rosés are sickly sweet and bright pink. They can be sec. They can be demi-sec too. I love the wines from my region. Then we're organized red on the right. I feel like a flight attendant. And on the left, exit doors. If you've consumed too much wine, run. We have wines, Muscadet, an excellent dry white from the Nantes region. And someone is messaging me on Messenger while I'm in a live broadcast. Very strange. A bottle of Sauterne, I will check if we see it. Things are reasonable though. They usually put the wines that are under 10 euros, sometimes under 5, around knee range, hip range. Oh, and do you remember before, guys, when I was telling you about that gold leaf? This is what I'm talking about. So it would be on wine, cheese, all types of food products. If you see this, again, wine is subjective, doesn't mean you're going to love it, but you're getting a solid bottle, even for a price like this. So that's a good rule of thumb. If you find yourself at the grocery store, you're like, oh God, I've never heard of Muscadet. I don't know what that is. Look for one that has a gold leaf. It's a good standard that you can use. The wines above your head tend to be a little bit higher in price. So here we have some wines up in the 15 euro range. But again, I mean, if you're cool with spending 10 euros or less, why shouldn't you be? On wine, you just drink it, right? For a casual dinner, to have with friends. Grocery store is great. But then again, if you need the expertise of a wine cellar and all that, you could go directly to the distributor, directly to the winery, buy in person. You could order on a specialty site online. You could go to a caviste, a special wine cellar with an S, not a C. Although maybe they have a cellar as well, just a wine store. And guys, for anyone who's new here and we've never met, I just started doing Facebook Live last month, but in previous videos that you could find under live videos from the main Oui In France Facebook page, we've gone to a farmer's market. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we went to the pharmacy. I also did a small town tour, and then we also went to Angers, where we saw the medieval fortress and cathedral. So please check them out. And again, if you want to support me, I don't have a donation page. I don't have an advertising budget. So the way to support me is to engage with me when we're live, to share with friends, to share the posts on Facebook and social media, and to help me get the word out, because it's not it's not easy doing this sort of thing. And I would love to kind of grow with the audience. So thank you so much. Okay, we are wrapping up in the grocery store portion. So the plan here, I'm going to show you the toilet paper, I'm going to talk about the eggs and the milk, and then for the grand finale, we're going to go buy our baguette outside. Sound cool? Good. Okay, so the first thing, there's some people here, so I'm just going to show you real quick. When I came to France, I was like, oh my gosh, the toilet paper comes in colors. So as you could see, there's white, pink. I'm going to try not to film these people, but we have blue, green, all kinds of interesting papers, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But the strangest thing is that it's scented. What? Scented? I wrote a blog post about this with my confusion about that a few years ago. This one is scented like the ocean. Great, right? This one's citrus. Oh, I should get this, with my citrus allergy and everything. I'm sure that would be really great for me. Oh my gosh. Louise, I don't know if I'm going to have time to go back to the coffee. I'm coming up on, 48 minutes already. I'm sorry. We will go to another grocery store, I promise you. It's just I can't show everything, so I hope you understand. Thank you. Just want to be respectful of everyone's time. So we have the scented toilet paper, right? And I'm thinking, now, is that to kind of freshen up the smell of the room or something else? Because it seems kind of whack to me, but then again, maybe Americans are crazy. I don't know. But it is something you'll see in France. So just be aware if you have any type of weird allergy, maybe you don't want to use scented paper, but they have all kinds of normal stuff. Well, normal, relatively speaking. Depends on what's normal to you. Okay. Oh man. Okay, guys. So here we are in front of the eggs, and I will point out that you can buy eggs at the farmers market, which we did a few weeks ago when we went to the farmers market. You could buy them also at the grocery store, but keep in mind they are usually by the milk, and both of these things, milk and eggs, are not refrigerated. Now, before you go, oh my God, that's so strange, there's a reason why, and you could Google it to get more information, but it's just in the way the eggs are processed here. A special layer that is cleaned off in the US is left on in France. It's in most of Europe, I think. It's nothing you could see, it's nothing gross. It just gives them the ability to be kept on your counter. I personally refrigerate my eggs because I don't want them on the counter taking up space, and they do stay longer in the refrigerator. But when you're in the store, remember, you're going to find the eggs on the shelf, okay? Ella, colors aren't healthy. That's why the U.S. discontinued. Yeah, I'm sure that, yeah. I'm sure that's the reason. Okay, so again, there are different types of eggs, and here's that word that we keep coming back to, bio, so these are organic eggs. And I don't know, maybe in the comments you guys could let me know what you pay for a dozen of like large eggs in your country, in your area, just for a comparison. We have here just some regular eggs made in a neighboring town from where I live here in Saint-Macaire-en-Mauges. And these are 12 eggs, local, and plein air means that these are free range. You know, the chickens, these are not kept in cages. The animals are treated well, and that's important, I feel. These are $2.69 for a dozen. Now, if you do not need free range eggs, you do not need organic eggs, I think there are the store brand, just to give you a comparison. So again, these come from the region. These are 12 eggs. And these are €1.70. So I do think eggs in general might be a little more expensive. When I buy them, more expensive in France, I mean. When I buy a dozen from the marché, from the guy who gets them from his chicken each morning, fresh as can be, I think it's $2.20 for the medium, a dozen for, $2.20. But, I will say I was in Fresh Market back in the U.S. in southern Florida last November, as well as Whole Foods. And if you want free range, like legit, the chicken does not go in a cage, free range, organic, I'm not even joking, 1 dozen eggs was like $6. I forget the brand, but their marketing was superb. Did I buy them? No. But here I do get the eggs from the market or from the region. Just my preference. Okay, so earlier I think it might have been Zoya. Hey Jess, glad you're here. Yeah, Julia. Yeah, so $4.50 for a dozen of organic free range. Yeah, so I will say they are a bit cheaper here, especially when you can buy locally. So I think Zoya asked earlier about different types of non-dairy milks, and again, we're in a mainstream grocery store. We have coconut milk, we have soy milk, we have goat milk. That's the lait de chèvre that you see. We have nice organic chocolate milk. And again, these are all not refrigerated. We're on the shelf. We have calcium and vitamin D infused soy milk. We have soy and almond milk. You get the idea. Almond drink. I don't see rice milk here. I don't see oat milk. And again, there are no coffee creamers. Blue top is always going to be what we call a demi-écrémé, and that's 2%. Green top is going to be écrémé, that's skim. Red top is going to be whole milk. So for dairy, those are the options. No matter the brand, you can identify them very easily by the color of the top. Pretty much everywhere, those 3 designations are what I just explained. And milk doesn't come in cartons here. You won't really see that much. When I mean cartons, the kind that pours, they come in bottles with the top. It doesn't really pour very nice. Or they come in a carton like this. Hold on, let me show you guys. Like this. And you could buy milk in 6-packs, or people, if they just want one, they just open the side here, pull one out. That's totally fine. Feel free to do that. Okay. No problem, Danielle. Thanks for being here. And tune into the replay if you want to see the bread machine. Always a fun time. Okay. So here we are. So did anyone have any questions about anything we just saw before we head outside to the bread machine? Again, I know we've been going on here for a little while. Okay. And again, the replay is going to post to the top of the Oui In France Facebook page in about 10 minutes, so you can tune back into the beginning if you want to see the cheese, the yogurt. So here we are at the cashiers. Very normal stuff, probably what you're used to at home. And there's a self-checkout in this store. Tissues, all kinds of stuff. No, Zoya, so the milk that I just showed you, that shelf stable, that is pasteurized. It's the stuff you get from the farmer, from the milk machine outside that is cold, that is unpasteurized and goes bad in 2 days. The stuff on the counter that you can leave on the counter, you buy on the shelf there, warm, that does stay good for, I could buy it on a Monday and still be putting it in my coffee on Friday. It's not a problem. And when I say warm, I'm just talking about when you buy it, guys. Sorry for any confusion. When you open the milk, once you've opened the container, it needs to be refrigerated. That's the same as probably what you're used to. Bonnie, so this particular store, this is not an Intermarché. It's not a giant store where they sell TVs and all that. They get really overwhelming and crowded. And so this particular store does not sell anything beyond, the regular grocery store stuff. And this is for Shona, I think, or Shana, who asked me to do some frozen stuff. I'm just going through real quick so you could see some products before we head outside. Yeah, so Zoya, Cindy said it's pasteurized. Just check the dates and make sure you use it within, I would say, 4 or 5, maybe 6 days. And then you'll be good. So there are frozen desserts here. I've never gotten any of these. They look good, though. If I buy a frozen dessert, I'll go to P. Carroll because I'm obsessed with that place. And then ice cream. They do have Ben & Jerry's here, not all the flavors. They do have Haagen-Dazs, but the biggies are the Carte d'Or brand, Nestlé La Laitière. And you'll see flavors that you know from home, usually not cookie dough. I've never seen butter pecan or anything like that. You'll see things like nougat, pistachio coffee. Up here we have rum raisin in these little containers. And then we have things like Snickers, bars, cones, veggie meat. Hillary, if you watch the replay, once this posts to my page, go back to maybe just before the halfway mark, and I covered some of the veggie stuff. So the answer is yes. Meat, like cold cuts and that sort of thing, I don't believe I've ever seen that sort of stuff, like vegan ground beef or chicken. I've never seen that for tacos or anything like that, but they do have a vegetarian section. So one thing I want to mention, guys, as we walk to the bread machine, and this is maybe the most important thing I'm going to say on the whole broadcast, is, and it might be common sense to some of you, is in France, politeness, social politeness is very, very important. Noticing people, seeing them, being polite is extremely important. So let's say we want to go up to the woman here who's at the bread section, right? She's there, she's serving a customer. First thing I would say to her is bonjour. And I've seen this in the U.S. where someone will be at a deli counter, the person will say, the employee will say, "What can I get for you, sir?" And he'll be like, "Give me half a pound of turkey." And I cringe when I hear that. I've always cringed, but I cringe even harder now because it just shows a lack of respect. For me, you say, "Hello, I'd like half a pound of turkey, please." In France, that's not an option. It's not just the nice thing to do. It's what you do. Because if you do not say bonjour, let's say you just say de baguette, you don't say s'il vous plaît, you don't say bonjour, the person might get you your baguette and be like, "Wow, that was rude." Or they might say bonjour and you'll be like, "Well, what?" It's because they're telling you should have said bonjour. So that's really important. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that whenever you're interacting with anyone in France, especially in a service position, now this does not mean you say hi to a random guy you don't know on the street, unless you want to. Whenever anyone's going to do something for you, first, you have to acknowledge the person. Second, you're going to acknowledge what they're doing for you. And that's really important. Acknowledge the person with the bonjour, and then acknowledge the service they're going to perform. So bonjour, 500 grammes de camembert, s'il vous plaît. And I know, again, that might sound like common sense to a lot of you. Like, yeah, of course I'm going to say hi and thank you. But I have to say, whenever I go back to the U.S., I notice that difference in culture. Here, it's not optional. So just keep that in mind. All right. Okay. So Here we are, guys. We are at the baguette machine, and I'm going to back up just so you could see this splendor in its entirety. So what we have here, I'm trying to find the €1 in my pocket so we could actually buy a baguette. It's back here by where you wash your car, and this Intermarché, they offer a drive-through, so you can order online and then come pick up your groceries. A few stores do that, which is great. And so this machine, as you can see, it's open 24 hours a day. So if you're coming on a Sunday afternoon, you can get your baguette. And I have to say, again, I'm not a bread specialist, but it's pretty darn good. So let's see what we can get today. For some reason, the €1 coin is like not appearing in my pocket. So we're going to use, oh no, I got it. Okay, we're here. We're going to go get our baguette. So it's pretty easy. You can just pull up with your car. And let me see if with the stabilizer you could, okay, so I don't think you could read what's on the screen, but, oh no, I think you can. So it's basically saying, oh no, it's saying there's no baguettes left. Earlier when I checked, there were 2. And there were 2 in the oven. Oh darn, we can't get our fresh baguette. What a bummer. But guys, I had every intention, so we're just going to make pretend, right? So it's telling us that the temperature inside is 79 degrees Celsius. The stock temperature for, I guess, the baguettes that would be waiting for us are 42 degrees. And the dough is being kept in a cold chamber at 10 degrees. And basically they're €1. So we're going to pretend we're getting our baguette. We put this in. After we put in our money, what we're going to see is basically the thing counting down for us. And then right after, our nice baguette will come out right here in this little slot. And it's not going to open now because there's no baguette. And then you would get a nice fresh baguette. But again, the reason why there aren't that many baguette stocks, like I said earlier, there were just 2, is because the store's open. So you could very easily just go in the store, get your baguette, and be on your way. So I hope that makes sense. So guys, if I forgot about any questions that maybe you asked and I didn't see, now would be the time to ask them. And I just want to say also, in French grocery stores, you always want to bring your shopping bags. I have reusable bags that I use. I also sell a wonderful tote bag in the Oui In France shop. Nice canvas, smaller size bag that says I love baguette and a bunch of other designs that I designed. So check that out. Link will be in the description if you're interested in supporting me in that way. And you want to bring the bags because otherwise you have to pay. They do sell them at the registers, but it's always best for the environment to bring your own. And, I didn't actually put it in, Roma. I didn't actually put it in. So let me just see. Something else I just want to mention, and you guys will know this if you have been to a French pharmacy, or maybe you watched my broadcast a week or so ago, is that in the French grocery store, if you have explosive diarrhea, well, no, let me back up. If you have an illness, like maybe you have diarrhea at home and you make a quick trip to the grocery store to get something to cure your diarrhea, grocery store is going to be of no use to you just because they do not have medicines of any kind. So no Advil, no Gas X, no Imodium AD, nothing like that. So if you want to save face and just grab your embarrassing medication and go to the self-checkout, no can do in France. There are no medicines of any kind. So that's why you didn't see a pharmacy section of the grocery store as we were walking through. And to get your medications, you need to go to a pharmacy. And those are denoted by a flashy, I don't know if you could see in the distance, a flashy green cross. And there's always one in every town that's en garde, which is on call every night after hours, so you can get your medication. And that works. So Catherine, oh yes, it means less sales for bakeries. Do we want local businesses to disappear? No, that's not what I was saying at all. I wasn't saying to go buy all your bread at the grocery store and put bakers out of business. No, definitely not. But bread is sold at grocery stores because there's a need for it. And if it's convenient for people, I think everyone makes their own choice with things they're going to buy and wear. Like me, I said with the organic eggs and certain things that I prefer to buy at certain places. That's just my preference. So I understand what you're saying and definitely don't want to put anyone out of business. So if I made it sound that way, I definitely apologize. That was not my intention. But there are options. That was my point, just with everything, with the cheese, with butchers, with things like that. Okay? Yes, so my point there was just that there are pharmacies for medication. So if you run into the grocery store and want to get some Advil, you won't find it. Okay. Louise asks, can you repeat the color tops of the milk? Yeah, so if you're looking for whole milk, it's going to be red. If you're looking for 2%, it's going to be blue. And then if you're looking for skim, that's going to be green. I don't believe there's a 1% milk or anything equivalent. So if anyone, someone asked me for coffee, and since I'm just talking, pardon, just cut in front of someone. Someone asked me about coffee, so you know what? While we're just talking and answering questions, I'm going to run back in and I'll show the coffee to the person who asked for that. Just as we're talking. So does someone else have a question that I might have missed? I'm sorry, guys. I just trying not to walk into little kids. Oh, look, and we have some frozen pizza. I'll show you real quick. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and I think the coffee is just right back here. We'll end at the coffee section in a few minutes. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, guys, let me know. Give me a red heart just to close out here as we're getting into the final few minutes of the broadcast. Let me know if you like this sort of thing. I'm completely open to your suggestions about where to go next, what to do. I hope to do a few broadcasts a month. So, like I said, to support, share, follow, interact, like the page, read the blog, and we'll see what happens. As I said, I don't have an advertising budget or a donation page at this time, so interacting with me and sharing really means the world. I can't say that enough. And here we are at the coffee. As we get into spring, as the weather warms up, I'd love to take you to maybe a Loire chateau, maybe a winery, maybe show you some other small towns. Maybe we'll go to other places. I mentioned Picard, the frozen food store, in the beginning. I'd love to see if maybe I could work with the pastry chef and kind of show you their workshop. So I don't know if any of that sounds good. Let me know. I'm here for you. I'm doing this to share French culture, to share everyday life. And I talk more about that in the post linked in the description about why I started doing Facebook Live. Okay, so here we have, this blue is going to be decaf, and a lot of soluble. It's a coffee that is instant. That's the word I'm looking for. Instant coffee, instant drinks. You just add water. I think that's popular in the US too, but there's a lot of it here. And then we have ground coffee, and we also have whole bean. And different kinds. French coffee tends to be pretty strong, so I always look for coffees that are kind of more middle of the road. And yeah, Joe, historical places. I don't know if you're into medieval castles, but if you go back to my live videos on my page, you'll see a tour of Angers. Part 2 has the medieval fortress, the Chateau d'Angers, so you'll like that, along with the cathedral. A lot of history, as you know, in France. And then we also have, which are really popular here, I'm sure where you live as well, like Nespresso machines, Senseo, all those different machines that will do single dose coffees and the little inserts for them. Carte Noire is a really popular French brand. Tends to be pretty strong though. Not my cup of tea. Okay. I just make my coffee with a filter each morning, a small pot, since Tom doesn't drink coffee and it's just the two of us. And then tea and all that. Okay. And anything I missed here? Different types. I call this applesauce, but they're not all apples. It's called compote in French. And all types of, I'm going to call them sauces, I guess. Fruit mixtures like applesauce, the texture of applesauce, and some are even made with apples. But there's apricot banana, not just for kids. And there are a lot of ones without added sugar, the sans sucre. My favorite is the apple peach, apple banana. Oh, here it is. And, I said something earlier about store brands. I don't have anything to compare it to, since I didn't grow up here. So for me, everything is new and exciting, again, even after 6 years. So I don't know if there's a stigma or anything attached to buying the store brand. I know when I was a snotty little kid growing up, if my mom was like going to buy something that was like the Pathmark brand or the ShopRite, I'm like, no, I don't want that. But in France, I don't have any judgment because I didn't grow up with these brands. So I try everything. And generally, the store brands are good. Super U has a really good organic yogurt brand. And yeah. All right, guys. And you know what? Someone asked earlier about the housewares and clothing. This particular store just has some underwear and some tights and some socks. All right. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to end it there. I'm pressing all the buttons. I'll just end it there. And again, the face behind the blog, I'm Diane. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope to see you next time. And please let me know what you'd like to see, okay? Thank you so much. And whether you're watching on the replay or you caught it live, I really, really appreciate your support. So thank you again. Au revoir. Bon après-midi.